Okay. We're good. Woo.
It's coming in really nicely.
Yeah, it looks great, Judy.
Are you able to tilt the camera down just a bit so we can, perfection, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hello, Judy.
Hi, Amanda.
Oh, it's so great to hi.
Hey.
You know what's so funny about this is I've watched you online for weeks and weeks, and so just to have this chance to see you virtually is pretty great. I wanted to introduce you to everybody on our team. We have Juliet Hinely, who's the production coordinator for the Institute Gallery.
Hello.
And we also have community outreach manager Angela Abiodun, who is our new person who's great to have on board. This is Judy.
Hello.
This is an unorthodox kind of studio visit, different maybe than some. We felt in this time with everything happening with the pandemic and scheduled really to do this show in the next few months that was meant to feature regional artists, that with the support of the Mellon, we were wondering, what could we do? How could we be responsive and really just reach out to everybody, check in? That seemed the most important thing that we could hope to do. So that's the impetus for this as a program. And we're so pleased to have you here today, Judy. It's really great to see you.
It's good being here.
Yeah, it's an opportunity, I guess, just to ask, how are you doing? You know, just tell us a little bit about how you are moving through this.
Well, you know, it's kind of like the best of times and the worst of times. For instance, right now, everybody's in the house. That's in our house, my mom, my husband. And so it gives us a greater time to have more quality time. And particularly with my mom, she's 90 years old. And I'm getting to learn more and more about her. I left my home when I was 18. So I've been gone from my mom, actually spending quality time with her for a really long time. And since she's been with us, it's been really good. I'm learning more about her. I'm learning her life, and so I'm real happy about that.
I've been watching how she helps you make your work. And she actually helps you to create some of these amazing collages that you create. Isn't that true?
Yes. I was Steve Patton asked me to do a piece for Black Bottom that was going to be at the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, but it's everything is closed down now. So we were doing that piece together because we lived in Black Bottom. We lived on Lafayette and McDougal. And so I found this picture of me and my mom. And so that was a picture that we did together. I thought it would be like really cool that she made me an artist, so I'm making her an artist. And so we did that piece together, and it turned out really well. And I'll show it to you a little bit later.
Oh, I'm excited to see that. Given the energy of this moment, it seems like daily and weekly our priorities and focuses are changing. And so we wanted to hear what that meant for you in this moment. What are you prioritizing? How have your priorities shifted since the beginning of the stay-at-home order? What has this been like for you?
My priority right now is making sure that my family is safe, and my family and friends. And so as a mom, I'm constantly giving out orders like, make sure you're staying in the house. Do you need anything? You know, checking on their welfare. And I'm not really a techie person, probably, as you can see, but we're learning how to do the Zoom and getting in contact with each other. So that's been my priority. And also, I've taken this time, I've always wanted to be in a residency. And so I'm kind of considering this as a residency time. I can't go anywhere. I have to focus in on my art. And that's been really interesting because I'm taking more time to do my art, and I'm finding that I'm making it, giving it more depth. And so that's something that's really good that's come out of this.
Yeah, this is definitely a time to like dig deep,
Hmm.
personally, artistically, and see what can come out of that. I agree.
Yeah.
I love that reframe of all this time stuck inside being, oh, it's actually a residency. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go all in on art. Yeah, it's so smart.
Yeah. It's always it's the way you look at things. You have to look at it from a different perspective. That was the reason I wanted to have a residency so I could be kind of isolated. And now I am isolated. So I'm doing my residency.
Yeah, it really comes through in these little check-ins that you do online, and you show us what's happening in your house and with your family and the work, and how all of that is one big ball, right? How one thing feeds another. It's been quite beautiful to watch those little updates.
My mom is a superstar. And so people are really kind of looking at her as somebody, and she's really motivating to people because she's 90, she's not able to get around, but she's still functioning and doing. And so that's been a motivation to me. Um, you got to keep moving as artists, as people, as families. You got to keep moving.
Yeah. And to your point about being in close proximity with like family that you haven't spent a lot of time with, I'm doing the same thing with my mom. And similarly, like stories are coming out that I just like never expected.
Right,
Do you find
right.
the stories that you're learning are inspiring or influencing like where your thoughts are going, what your art is looking like?
Yeah, it is. I've always been a family person, but to be able to hear like the genesis of your family, the beginning of your
Hmm.
family, what was important to them. And I've always wanted to uh, do work that reflected my family. And now I have like some foundation of why I have the thoughts that I have and why I do the things that I do and why I want to celebrate life. And life is a celebration. She's filling me in on all of those. Intuitively, I've always felt that way, but now she's filling in why I feel that way to make
Yeah.
work that's be work and empowering work and work that connects people together.
Can we see some of the work you've been making in residency at your house?
Okay, all right. Now we're gonna do this. Now I'm not. I will try. Okay,
Totally fine.
okay. This is a piece that I chose to do for the Detroit Symphony Orchestra for the Black Bottom series, and
Mm.
this is me and my mom when we lived on Lafayette and McDougal. And the hat is oversized because that's my dad's hat. And I love to wear my dad's hat.
Did you make this image from memory, or is it from a photograph that you have of you and your mom?
It's from an old photograph, family photograph.
Mm.
And
Mm.
a lot of people say that my work reminds them of Romare Bearden's style, but a more modern style. But
Mm.
actually, Benny Andrews is a bigger influence because in Benny Andrews' work, his work was kind of pulled away from the canvases, and that's how I tried to do mine. For instance, like this is my mom, and you could see her nose there,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and her hair is pulled away. It's pulled away from the canvas. And so I really like that style. And one of the reasons I like that style is because when you hang this, it depending on where the light is coming from, it changes the shadows on the picture. So the picture changes like all day long because due to the different lighting. Now this part right here is my mom's. She cut the fruit out and yeah, so that's hers. And she did the banisters. And she was kind of concerned that they weren't uh, perfect, straight. And I said, no, Ma, that's great. I wish I had done that. But those are hers. and she loves shoes, so I had to get her shoe in there.
I love that gator shoe.
Yeah. This part right here, I had to add this. This is Mary Palmer, and this is the church that we went to, and it was on the corner of Lafayette and McDougal, and that was very important to my family to have a Christian home. So that's added in there. But this piece is really important to me, and I got to show this to you right here. This is my mom's signature.
Oh, yeah.
So at 90 years old, she became an artist.
It's never too late.
Yes. No,
Judy, you also did you not teach for a number of years? Isn't that
I,
right that you've had a different trajectory in your life as well?
well, actually, I started off as a fine, majoring in fine art, and but as life got going, that wasn't going to be how I ended up. I ended up in education. So I spent 3 years at Spelman, and then we had to leave Atlanta, and I moved to Flint, U of M Flint, and they didn't have an art department at that time. So I lost a lot of credits, and
Mm.
I ended up going into education, and so that's how I became a teacher.
Mm.
And so during all of that time, I didn't do any artwork at all because I had a really large family and we needed money. And sometimes as an artist, you don't make a lot of money. It's not steady money. So, and I'm just kind of taking you around and showing you some of the things.
Yeah.
But, but before, when I was living in Atlanta, I would make money from my art. And so it would kind of help with the family. But you need the insurances and you need all those other things. And so, um, went into education. So when I retired, I wondered if I could still do my art, and I got back to it, but I wanted to do bigger pieces. And so I found these papers and I started doing them, and people responded to them really well. And so that's how where I am now. Oh, I got to show this to you. These are my these are my trophies from the Bombay Sapphire Artesian series. And I came
Congratulations.
yeah, I won the regional here, and then they flew me down to Miami, and I got second place across the country. So that was really a great experience.
That's amazing. And is that for a particular piece, or was that for like an exhibition of a lot of your works?
No, it was for a particular piece, and it was a triptych.
Is that the one of the three couples?
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was of the lovers. So, um, that was a really great experience. So my art has really taken me to a lot of different places, and I'm just kind of scanning through my studio with you.
I can't help but think that the way that you work, where you have all these marvelous pieces that then add up and create these amazing paintings, that's sort of like our lives, right? That we have all of these small passages or fragments or moments, and when we're in the middle of it, it maybe doesn't quite make sense, but then each piece adds to another piece, and in the end you have this roadmap or representation of everything that you've done or who you are. You're so moving.
Thank you. What I want to say to people is never give up on, if you're an artist when you're little, you're going to be an artist all your life. And never give up on it. Keep going and keep doing. I stopped for 35 years. And I said, oh man, I wanted to work real fast because I felt like I didn't have time. But then I started seeing all these other older artists like Charles McGee and Artist Lane. They're still working and they're still producing. So I got a little bit of time left. I can still do things.
I guess jumping back on your reflections of turning this into a residency and like really appreciating and honing in on the singularity and the isolation that this moment calls for, I would be interested in kind of like comparative reflection around like both opportunities and maybe challenges do you see about making art in this moment, in the new isolation that is being asked of us?
For me as an artist, I need other artists to feed off of. I need artists to bounce ideas off of. I need them to give me their opinions. I need for my work to be seen in real life,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because it lets me know that I'm the message that I'm trying to give through my art is coming out. So that's one of the things that I it's kind of different in this part, but I'm trying to work through that, and I use social media to kind of get that feedback that I need, and so when all of this is over, hopefully what I was trying to project will be out there. I will get that feedback that I so desired and I so need.
Yeah. Yeah, the point of feedback, does it have legs? Is it clear? Like all of those are questions that are not always easily answered through a computer screen and through
Right.
like really short interactions.
Yes, absolutely. And then not only that, the piece that I did for the Bombay Sapphire, um, I got an opportunity to kind of stand back. This was when it was at the DeVos House for Art Prize. And my work happened to be right next to the grand prize winner.
Mm.
And so people were rushing to go see that piece, and they were passing my piece. And because it was so long and they would look over, they would kind of like stop and they would pause and they would walk back to the beginning to see it. And that felt so good that
Yeah.
my caused them to stop and to reflect and to look. And then there were people who were actually lovers, and they would stop and they would hold each other more. And I said, right on. That's what I'm trying to get. And that's what I'm trying to see. And they would just hold each other and look at that. And one older man said, baby, can you kick your leg up like that for me? It was just that's what I miss. That's what I miss most of all. That kind of feedback and getting that emotion out. I want my work to emit emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the proximity, like the piece I'm even just seeing over your shoulder, like the proximity of all the people in the image, they're all clearly in the same room. They're within 6 feet of each other. Like, so that kind of closeness means something new to me now, looking at this work and after self-isolation. The relationships of the people in your work are so evident. And yeah, I just find that very powerful. And that, of course, elicits the reaction from the viewer in that way. It's, yeah, so nice.
Even in a virtual world, I have to say your work for me, it's so life affirming. It's so vivid that it comes through even in these small squares.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I can't wait to get back out into the world. I can't wait to get back to touch people. I don't know if we're gonna ever get back to that. But my work helps you to feel that, and as an artist, it is our job to record what's going on. And so maybe when we do come back, they'll say there was a time that we could party together and we could be together and we could touch each other. So I think an artist's job is very, very important to record what's going on in the world. And this is a very, very difficult time that we're in right now.
Your work, all that I've looked at, evokes a certain type of intimacy. And I think I'm excited to see it moving forward because I do see people like removing the touch aspect of intimacy. And there's something, similarly, I'm a touch person. There's something aspirational about your work when I look at it, given the social context, because of the fact that I would love to see lovers, sitting comfortably somewhere together, or to be able to see a band of individuals like preparing for a show. And that is something that has been removed in this moment, way of relating to each other.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like her work is all about preserving things, or the way you preserve the past, or this style or color, all that your work is already doing. I feel exactly this way, that you now are recording or preserving this human intimacy, and it's become so important to so many people.
You know what, guys? Now, that touch, that thing that I wanted, what you guys just said to me made me feel that my work, thank you. That's the feedback that I need. And, oh, you're going to make me cry.
I feel like crying.
Thank you so much for, we fully realize that this is like a both an eager and a difficult time to bring people not only into like truly your home, but also like the headspace of making work in this time. And so thank you so much.
And Angela, I can tell that you are a writer. Oh my goodness.
It gets me in trouble sometimes, but thank you. I'm glad it has good meaning here. And kind of as an aside, it was so exciting to meet you personally, because I'm on the advisory board for the Black Bottom Archives. And so to see that work is, because like we've been talking a little bit about like, what is BBA doing in the midst of all of this? And with the DSO exhibit on permanent hiatus now until like this all clarifies, I was excited for the little piece, the sneak piece, scene right here.
I have another one that I'm going to work on, and it's with my aunts, and we're standing in front of the house that we lived in, and so my whole life has always been about family, and family has lived with us, so it's all about that. So for me to be a part of that, and actually, my mom and I, we went down. Steve let us take a little sneak preview through, and there was this big, huge map of Black Bottom, and to actually see. That's where I lived, Lafayette and McDougal. That was so cool. So, it's like, hey, all those stories your mom was telling you, they're real. There it is, right there. There's the evidence. So,
it is real.
Yeah, place is so powerful that way, to like be back in the place where a history happened, whether it's, for me especially, like personal history attached to particular places. Like when you're in the same place, the power of that really runs through your body. It's intense.
It is, and that's an amazing feeling. It's like you have history, you have a beginning, you have a middle, you have an end, and it's all right there. So I'm excited about that opening back up again, and I'm motivated. Before this conversation, I was kind of dragging about getting that other piece done, but now I found that this is what I was talking about. I need it.
That's real.
Working.
Yeah.
I need this to keep working. And so, ladies, thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you.
So excited to see the work and to meet you in person.
Yeah.
Same here. So we will meet again.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Take care.